Thank you very much, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Xie. Deputy Political Minister of Education, Ms. Fan. Director General, Tourism Bureau, Dr. Zhou. Legislator Chen. Deputy Secretary General of the Legislative Yuan, Mr. Gao. Chairman of Tri-Taitra, Mr. Huang. Colleagues from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other ministries and government agencies. Ambassadors and representatives, fellow diplomats, ladies and gentlemen, friends. On behalf of my wife, Tamar, and the Economic Attaché, Mr. Tzli Lahav, I would first and foremost like to thank our generous sponsors for making this event possible. Hawin Microsystem, TXI Center, Sarel Tours and Conferences, JA Diamonds, Lives and Tendency Corporation, and a good friend. We are very grateful to them, and we are extremely happy that they are with us tonight. Thank you very much. I'm overwhelmed to see so many of you here tonight, all with the purpose of celebrating Israel's 71st anniversary. Israel's independence should not and need not be taken for granted. Israel has been facing a challenging reality since its inception in 1948, and has had to go through serious hardships since then. The difficulties have not disappeared with time. They've only changed nature and require constant care and special attention, creative thinking, and sufficient resources on Israel's part to find the necessary solutions. Despite everything, some may say that against all odds, Israel, much like Taiwan, has turned into a great success story, even a miracle. Taiwan plays a leading role in the world in manufacturing of the most advanced electronic components and devices, just to mention a few. And Israel has turned into a global hub in fields such as R&D, science and technology, cybersecurity, water technologies, IoT, artificial intelligence, fintech, food tech, automotive, and much more. Israel and Taiwan complement each other in many ways. And this is one of the main reasons that just a few months ago, TAITRA, as has been mentioned by the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Taiwan External Trade Development Council, opened its 63rd office worldwide in Tel Aviv. This is also why Taiwan's Minister of Science and Technology has returned from a visit to Israel and immediately thereafter announced his intention to send an additional Taiwanese diplomat to Israel to be in charge of a newly created Science and Technology Division at Taiwan's representative office in Tel Aviv, who indeed started operating successfully last year. In my role as a representative of Israel in Taiwan, I'm often asked, what can we Taiwanese do to replicate Israel's story? Well, as a matter of fact, this is not a one-way street. We both can learn a great deal from each other. Yet, there is one element that can be highlighted in this regard. What I mean is that with all that we have in common, there is one significant difference between Israel and East Asia, including Taiwan. I'm referring to the way our cultures relate to what is known as failure. Essentially, in Israel, we understand that failure need not be understood only as in a negative connotation. Failure also offers opportunities to learn, to draw lessons, to improve, and much more. It's also a natural occurrence in life, and therefore we should not be deterred by it, let alone be embarrassed by the fact that things sometimes simply go wrong. Last April, Israelis dealt with a situation that proved to the entire world that we're not only talking about our ability to cope with failure, but we actually do. Almost a decade ago, 3 young Israeli men went to the office of the chairman of Israel's space agency and presented to him their vision. They enthusiastically showed their plan to build a small spacecraft that would land on the moon, send a picture from there, leap about 500 meters, and send another picture. We will do so within 3 to 4 years at a cost of $10 million US dollars, said Yariv, Kfir, and Jonathan, and we will win the $20 million US dollars prize announced by Google for being the first private group to do so. We will donate the prize money to educational activities that will attract Israeli youth to science, space, in space in particular. After all, only the United States, Russia, and China have done this before. They were disappointed when the chairman told them that in his estimation, the cost of a spacecraft would be at least $80 million US dollars, 4 times the value of the prize. The three young entrepreneurs managed to raise the necessary funds, all from private equity. The Space IL Foundation was formed, and on 22 February 2019, the spacecraft Bereshit, Genesis, was launched on its mission to the moon. On April 11, the spacecraft made it to the moon, and in fact, it landed, but in a very different formation than anticipated. Since due to a last-minute malfunction, it lost its main engine and crashed into the moon surface. So, success or failure? First of all, we were unable to land Bereshit on the moon. That is a fact that nobody tries to refute. There was, therefore, a failure to fulfill the task as it was defined. Nevertheless, beyond the failed landing, the project was more than successful in achieving the main goal, to attract youth to sciences and technology and demonstrate that even the skies are not the limit. Bereshit has clearly proven that 3 young visionaries in Israel can dream and make their dream come true, to build a spaceship that has the ability to land on the moon while acquiring adequate financial resources and recruiting an entire country to stand behind them. In brief, a high degree of success tempered by a wee bit of failure. Just one day after the crash landing of Bereshit, those responsible for the project announced the Bereshit 2 program. This is in so many ways what Israel is all about. It really reflects the spirit of Israel. So what did many Israelis feel? Despair, disappointment? Not really, the exact opposite. They said that they were now much better prepared for future endeavors. In order to give Bereshit a sense of presence for all of us, here and now, we have challenged the ice carving master and asked him to prepare an almost one-to-one model of the spacecraft. Please unveil the sculpture. Thank you. Thank you. But Israel is not only about technology and science. We also work in Taiwan and with Taiwan on a large number of cultural and other activities. One example, which is when last year Israel was a guest of honor at the Taipei International Book Exhibition and had a rich and diverse showcase of its literature, authors, books, and culture in general. There is a saying known in other parts of the world as a Chinese proverb that, frankly, nobody heard of here in Taiwan. That says, when you have only 2 pennies left in the world, buy a loaf of bread with one and a lily with the other. Meaning that as humans, not only should we maintain a physical sustenance, but also our emotional and spiritual being. This can also be attributed to Israel, a country that looks at the physical dimension of life, while not neglecting the emotional and spiritual. Later, when you leave, I invite you to collect the gift bags that we have prepared, so you can enjoy an Israeli incarnation of this Chinese proverb. On a personal note, you know that, as some of you know, in 2 months' time, I will conclude my 4-year assignment as Israel's representative in Taiwan and return to Israel with my family. This has been a very challenging yet extremely fulfilling period, professionally as well as personally. I must admit that 4 years ago, shortly before assuming my duties here, I could not have imagined that it would be as exciting as it has been. The time here in Taiwan offered me and Tamar, my wife, a rare opportunity in life to do something meaningful, something we consider important, and for us, even life-changing. Time constraints do not allow me to do justice to the many individuals to whom we owe so much, who have constantly lent their support to us. It would, however, be completely unjust not to mention the wonderful, talented, professional, and dedicated staff of our office, who spared no effort to fulfill the demanding tasks of our office, specifically to carry the word of Israel to Taiwan and help in bringing Israel and Taiwan closer. Anything and everything that our office has done right during my tenure could not have been achieved without them. This is a unique and well-deserved opportunity to express my gratitude to them for their labors. A big thank you to each and every one of you. You're well-deserving and so much more. Before concluding, I would like to share with you how very satisfying it was to work here and observe how much Israel is revered here in Taiwan. This has brought us a great sense of pride. I have said on numerous occasions, as an Israeli, and even more as a representative of the State of Israel, I truly believe I represent a good product. Exactly like you do, Taiwanese, who have the honor and the good fortune of being part of your own fine product. Let us all remember that this is not a given in today's world. In practically no time, my family and I have become so appreciative of Taiwan and its achievements, but above all, we remain with our strongest impression from the most outstanding national resource, its people. Hardworking, proud, kind, and generous. We learn so much here and from you, Taiwanese, and we will carry many of the lessons with us forever. We saw how you, the Taiwanese, can be so successful without being arrogant, how you excel and at the same time remain humble, how you are friendly and caring to a stranger, sometimes because he's a stranger, and cannot find his way around, metaphorically as well as literally. The best indication of the way we, Tamar and I, feel towards Taiwan is that we can assure you, as much as it depends on us, we will surely be back as visitors. Thank you. Thank you. In conclusion, let us celebrate Israel's 71 years of independence. Let us praise the strong ties between Taiwan and Israel. Let us hope for a successful, prosperous future for Israel and Taiwan, and commit to do whatever we can to make this future better. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.